Hey there, Chef Nash Cognetti from Pizzeria Trevina. If you're watching this video, it's because you purchased one of our Make It at Home pizza kits. So I'm going to do a quick little step-by-step instructional of how to make the perfect pizza right there at home. So if you read my instructions before the video, you should have your oven preheated right now. Hot as that dial can go. If you've got one of those little convection buttons on there, you know that button you never press, when you press it, it makes a funny noise. That's a convection fan. Turn it on too. That's going to get air moving around your oven. It's going to get it even hotter. If you've got a pizza stone, you should have that in the oven as well. What you're looking for is to get that stone as hot as possible. If you don't have a pizza stone, don't worry about it. Take your cookie tray, your sheet tray, flip it upside down, and put that in the oven. What you're trying to do is get a nice hot surface on which to cook this pizza. So, I'm going to jump right into it. I've got my pizza dough right here. Very important that this dough is at room temperature. Don't just take it straight out of the fridge and start to try to make a pizza. Your dough's going to rip. It's going to be tough to make and the whole thing. So, I've got a little bit of all-purpose flour here, just regular all-purpose flour. I lightly dusted that pizza dough, and I'm going to start going here. So I'm taking my fingertips, and I'm just kind of gently pressing down in the center of the dough. You can see I'm kind of moving it around in a circle as I'm doing this. I'm just kind of pressing it down and moving the dough outward as I go. You can see here too, I'm not touching this outer about ½ an inch right here. This is called the cornice. It's what's going to give you an awesome crust. So as I'm doing this, I'm just kind of starting in the middle and I'm working my way out. See, I got a big air bubble there. Don't even worry about that. It's going to take care of itself once we start stretching that pizza dough, and that's a good sign. That tells me my dough's alive, it's moving, and that's a great sign. So I've kind of pressed my pizza dough out here a little bit. I've got it into a circle that's about twice the size of that ball that I started with, right? So I'm going to lift it straight off the board right now, and I'm going to start stretching it. So when I stretch it, I'm using my hands like this in a claw. I'm not using my fingers like this because I'll risk tearing that pizza dough. So I'm using my knuckles like this while I stretch that pizza, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that pizza, I'm going to kind of let gravity do the work here on it. And so I'm just moving my hands outwards from the center towards the edges. As I'm doing this, I'm giving that pizza a little rotation. You don't have to toss it up in the air and spin it around. You can just take your hands and give it a slow rotation like this as you're doing it. I'm not really pulling on it. I'm just kind of taking my hands, sliding them across the pizza dough towards the edges, right? So if it gets a little sticky while you're doing this, that's cool. You've got some flour there on your board. You can redust it in flour, and that'll help to get it moving. So this is kind of a fun thing to do because you're getting your hands a little dirty from the flour. It's cool to do with the kids and have everyone make their pizza. So like I said, I'm pulling that pizza out from the center, and I'm going for a nice thin crust on this right now. I'm also trying to still not touch that outer ½ inch of the pizza while I'm doing this because I want that crust to rise. I want that nice crispy crust, okay? So I give mine a little flip like that, but you don't have to do that. You could just work it around like this in a circle, and you can tell as I'm moving, that dough just keeps on stretching and stretching and stretching. So right now it's about, I don't know, maybe about a foot wide, maybe about 12 inches. You can see it's much bigger than what I started out as. You can see I still got those air bubbles, which is cool. I'll show you how to deal with those in a second. So next to me, I've got what's called a pizza peel. If you don't have one of these at home, that's cool. It's about a $8 investment. So if you're serious about making pizza at home, I would say it's $8 well spent. If you don't have one, that's cool. You can take your cookie tray or your baking tray, once again, invert it so the flat side is up. In your kit, you got some of this little semolina flour. So I take that and I dust it in semolina flour. I'm gonna build my pizza on this board. So that's gonna help me slide it into the oven. People say you can use cornmeal. I really don't think you can because I think it's too coarse. It ends up burning as soon as it hits the pizza stone if your pizza stone is nice and hot. So I like to use semolina flour. I think it's got a better structure. So I lay my pizza dough down on the board like that, right? These little bubbles that are here, I just kind of open them up a little bit. I'm not that concerned. You can see I've got that nice cornice, that nice crust on the outside. In your kit, you got a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. I've got a pastry brush here. If you don't have one of these at your house, it's not a big deal. You can just use your finger. What I do is I go around the edge of the pizza and I brush it in that extra virgin olive oil. That's, once again, it's going to give you that golden brown crust. It's going to add a lot of flavor. And once it goes inside the oven, it's gonna really help it to rise and get that little blistery crust on the outside. So I brush the outside of that crust in extra virgin olive oil, and that's basically the only time that I touched that outer half inch of that pizza was right there with that pastry brush. So I've got some marinara sauce. So I'd lay down a little bit of sauce in the middle of my pizza. I'm kind of a less is more guy when it comes to this. I like all the elements of the pizza to be in harmony here. So I don't like to overload it with sauce and then I get a pizza that's too saucy. I don't like to overload it with cheese and then I get a pizza that's too cheesy. The best thing about it is like pizza's a very personal thing, you know. Different people like their pizza different ways. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to show you how I do mine. So you've also got some mozzarella cheese in your pizza kit. This is, as you can see, cut into these little diced. It's a diced mozzarella cheese. This is what they call a high melt ratio cheese. So it really melts very well on the pizza. If you want to doctor it up at this point, put your herbs in there, your mushrooms, your pepperoni, whatever kind of toppings you like on the pizza, that's up to you. I'm here to show you how to make the baseline right now. So that's my pizza. It's ready to go inside the oven. You can see before I put it in the oven, I give it a little shake on that pizza peel just to make sure it moves freely. If for some reason it sticks and it doesn't move freely, what I'll do is I'll take that area that it's sticking at, I'll lift it up, I'll dust a little extra semolina flour on there, and I'll lay it back down and try to get my pizza back into a circle. My pizza is never a circle. Your pizza being oblong and weird shaped is a sign of creativity. So don't even worry about it. It's creative freedom. As long as it doesn't like come out like something crazy weird shape of the state of Texas or something like that, you're in good shape. So at this point, I'm gonna slide my pizza into my oven, straight off that pizza peel, right onto my preheated pizza stone. I'm gonna let it bake for about 8 to 10 minutes. Thanks to the beauty of television, I've got one right here, okay? So this is the one that just came out of our oven here at Pizzeria Trevino, where we use a wood burning oven. So a little bit different than your home oven. You can see I can take this pizza, I can lift it straight up. See, it doesn't fall over, doesn't droop over. I've got my hand underneath it there. It's got a nice crispy crust on it right there. You can hold it on the edges and that thing's not like falling apart. That to me is a sign of a really good pizza right there. Nice harmony of ingredients. So yours would probably be topped with all sorts of stuff, fresh basil and mushrooms and whatever you want to put on that pizza. I'm going to show you the last step here is how to cut that pizza. So you ever gone out for a pizza or you get one at home and they stick together? It's the most annoying thing. You're trying to eat a pizza and the pieces are all stuck together. So I'm going to show you a proper way to cut it. I've got myself a pizza wheel here right now. Once again, about an $8 investment. If you're serious about making pizza at home, you should get one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a running start at it. So I'm going to put my one hand here on this side of the pizza so I don't push it off the side of the table. We worked hard on making that pizza. We don't need it to hit the floor now. I'm going to put my one hand on the side of the pizza. I'm going to get a running start. I'm going to go straight through that crust, straight through the other side right there. Okay, so you can see my pizza split very evenly into two. I just, when I go to slice it, I do it again, and then I do it again, and I've got my pizza cut into 6 little nice slices like that. So I hope you make awesome pizza at home. You can get on our website. You can email us with any questions. Buona fortuna and ciao from Pizzeria Trevino.